The street lamp flickered like a dying heartbeat, casting long shadows across the cracked pavement where Aisha stood, her fingers twisting the hem of her oversized sweater. She hadn't planned on being here tonight, not after the fight they'd had 2 weeks ago, the one where words had sliced deeper than any knife. Jamal's text had come out of nowhere, "Meet me at the old bridge. Please." Her heart had warred with her pride, but her feet had carried her here anyway. Now he was late, or maybe she was early, clutching her phone like a lifeline. The air was crisp, carrying the faint scent of the river below, and she wondered if this was a mistake. Jamal had always been the one to pull her back from the edge, but lately, it felt like he was the one pushing her toward it. She glanced at her watch, 8:47 p.m., and the numbers glowed accusingly. What if he didn't show? What if this was his way of ending things for good? Her mind raced through memories. Their first date at the corner cafe, the way he'd laughed when she spilled coffee on her dress, how he'd promised forever under a sky full of stars. But promises were fragile, and theirs had cracked under the weight of misunderstandings. She heard footsteps approaching, heavy and deliberate, and her breath caught. Was it him? Or just a stranger passing by? The figure emerged from the mist, tall and broad-shouldered, wearing that familiar denim jacket. Jamal. His eyes locked on hers, and for a moment, the world narrowed to just the two of them. He stopped a few feet away, hands shoved in his pockets, looking as uncertain as she felt. "Aisha," he said, his voice rough like gravel. She wanted to run, to scream, to kiss him, all at once. Instead, she stood frozen, waiting for him to bridge the gap he'd created. The wind whispered through the trees, carrying secrets neither of them was ready to share. This night wasn't supposed to happen, but here they were, teetering on the precipice of something unknown. Approximately 3,000 characters including spaces. Jamal took a hesitant step forward, the gravel crunching under his boots like bones breaking. He'd rehearsed this 100 times in his head, apologies, explanations, pleas for forgiveness, but now, with Aisha's eyes boring into him, every word evaporated. She looked beautiful, even in her anger, her dark hair tousled by the breeze, her lips pressed into a thin line that he knew could curve into the smile that lit up his world. "I'm sorry," he blurted, the words tumbling out before he could stop them. Sorry for the argument, sorry for the silence that followed, sorry for letting his frustrations boil over into accusations he didn't mean. Aisha's arms crossed over her chest, a barrier he desperately wanted to tear down. "Sorry doesn't fix it, Jamal," she replied, her voice steady but laced with hurt. He nodded, knowing she was right. It had started over something stupid, his late nights at work, her feeling neglected, but it had snowballed into an avalanche of resentment. He'd accused her of not understanding his dreams, she'd thrown back that he didn't appreciate her sacrifices. The bridge beneath them seemed to sway, or maybe it was just his imagination. The river rushed below, dark and unforgiving, mirroring the turmoil in his chest. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small box, his hands trembling. It wasn't what she thought, not a ring, not yet, but a token, a necklace with a pendant they'd seen together months ago. "I got this for you," he said softly, holding it out. Her eyes widened, then narrowed in suspicion. Was this a bribe, a way to gloss over the pain? She didn't take it, and the rejection stung like salt in a wound. The lamp above them buzzed, threatening to go out, plunging them into darkness. Jamal swallowed hard, searching for the right words to mend what was broken. This night was a gamble, a last-ditch effort to salvage what they had. He couldn't lose her, not like this. Approximately 3,000 characters including spaces. Aisha stared at the necklace dangling from Jamal's fingers, the silver chain catching the faint light like a promise unkept. It was the one from the boutique window, the one she'd admired while they window shopped, dreaming of a future where such small luxuries were theirs to share. But dreams had a way of crumbling, and so had they. "You think a gift makes it okay?" she asked, her voice cracking despite her efforts to stay strong. Jamal's face fell, and for a second, she saw the boy she'd fallen for, the one who used to surprise her with handwritten notes and stolen kisses. "No," he admitted, lowering his hand. "But it's a start. I messed up, Aisha. I let work consume me, and I took you for granted." The honesty in his voice chipped away at her defenses. She uncrossed her arms, her hands falling to her sides, fingers itching to touch him but held back by pride. The bridge creaked under a gust of wind, and she glanced down at the water, black and endless. Memories flooded her. Lazy Sundays in bed, his arms around her as they planned adventures that never happened because life got in the way. "You shut me out," she whispered. "After the fight, you just disappeared." He nodded, stepping closer until she could smell his cologne mixed with the night air. "I was scared," he confessed. "Scared of losing you, scared of admitting I was wrong." His hand brushed hers, a tentative touch that sent sparks up her arm. She didn't pull away. The lamp flickered again, steadying, as if the universe was giving them a sign. Aisha's heart pounded, torn between forgiveness and the fear of being hurt again. This night, unplanned and raw, was forcing them to confront the cracks in their foundation. Maybe, just maybe, they could rebuild. Approximately 3,000 characters including spaces. Jamal's fingers intertwined with Aisha's, a small victory in the battlefield of their emotions. Her hand was cold, but it warmed quickly in his grasp, a reminder of how perfectly they fit together. "I don't want to lose you," he said.